Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Senator Hirono. Ms. Bloom, on the assumption that you are confirmed, I can make that assumption, you can't. I would appreciate it if one of your first tasks might be an updated assessment of the sustainment cost of the F-35. The figures that I've seen, which may be outdated, are 40 hours of maintenance for every hour of operation, anticipated only 250 hours of operation a year, $36,000 an hour of cost of flying the airplane. We need to understand where that is now. It may be that we've made some progress on that, but I would appreciate it if you could commit to giving us a comprehensive update of that issue, and also some thinking about how to do something about it.
Yes, Senator, I share your concerns about F-35 sustainment, and if confirmed, I look forward to digging into that and providing you an update.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ms. Hsu, we had a wonderful conversation. It strikes me that one of the things that hasn't been mentioned very much today that I think is a strategic gap is both the defense and offense in terms of hypersonic weapons. And I view that as an important part of acquisition over the next 5 to 10 years. We have platforms that are very vulnerable to hypersonic weapons, and we need to figure out how to both defend them and also to maintain or develop our own offensive capability in order to serve as a deterrent. This is one area where we don't really have a deterrent. Is that something that you intend to follow up on?
Senator, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff you're talking about is in the classified arena. So once I get briefed on the latest state of where we are in this area, I'll be happy to come back and share the results with you.
Thank you. I think, and maybe that in classified setting we can discuss it more thoroughly, but as I say, I think it's a strategic gap right now. And this is a question, I think, for you, perhaps also for Mr. Kendall. In my view, we should never buy another military system without also buying the IP. We have to be able to print our own parts and not be dependent upon the OEM for parts. And I understand that's one of the sustainment costs is parts and availability of parts. So I hope that all contracts in the future for an acquisition, whether it's a tank or an airplane or a coffee dispenser, we will also buy the IP so that we will have the ability to do our own development of parts. I foresee a day where every ship and every aircraft hangar has a 3D printer that will be capable of supplying many of the parts. Is that something you will see to? Ms. Hsu?
Oh, me? Yes. Actually, I agree with you. The other thing that I know the services are all working towards is having a modular open architecture with standard interfaces. If we implement that across our programs, even if you don't have a specific part, you could potentially develop another part that has the same form, fit, and function as well. So there are two prongs to this I would like to take a look at.
I appreciate that. And Mr. Kendall, good to see you again. Welcome, and delighted that you're willing to take on this challenge. They often say that September 11th was a failure of imagination on the part of this country, that we didn't imagine what could happen. We're now imagining cyber in a serious way. And in discussing, for example, the upgrade of the modernization of the nuclear triad, in my view, it's really a nuclear quad. It's submarines, air and missiles, and communications and command and control. Give me your brief views on the significance of cyber. I believe the next major attack on this country will not be landing craft or missiles, it will be cyber, and we are not adequately prepared.
Senator King, first of all, I want to compliment you on your work on the Solarium Commission. I think it was a very good body of work and very helpful. And I also want to recollect our time together on a submarine under the ice in the Arctic. It was
Yes, sir.
a great experience with you. You're right. Cyber is a ubiquitous problem. It is a potential Achilles heel in any number of places in our overall economic, social, military enterprise, including potentially in the nuclear command and control area. And it is an area that, as we look at nuclear modernization, we have to look at very, very seriously. The time I left government, I thought we had a reasonable posture there, but I think it's well worth taking a look at, and continuous diligence in that area is what is actually required, because the threats never stop. They keep coming at you.
Not only do the threats never stop, the wake-up calls never stop, and we're not thoroughly awake. So I hope you will make this a high priority in your work in the Air Force, because a jet fighter is not useful if its command and control and navigational system is knocked out in the first moment of a conflict.
Completely agree, Senator. Or it's a logistics support system.
Correct.
And there are a lot of ways a lot of attack vectors are possible against our assets, as you're well aware.
Thank you. Thank you all for your dedication and willingness to come back to work for the American people. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator.